Back in 1981, Pat Robertson, televangelist, 700 Club fame, etc., predicted that the USSR would invade Israel. That didn't happen. Back in 1996, he predicted that Bill Clinton would not get a second term. That did happen. Back in 1998, he said a meteor might hit Orlando. That didn't happen. In 2006, he said a tsunami would hit the United States. That didn't happen. In 2007, he said that in the fall, there would be a mass terrorist attack in the U.S. that would kill millions of Americans. That didn't happen. In 2012, he said that the American economy would collapse. That didn't happen. And he also said that Mitt Romney would assume the presidency in 2013, and that didn't happen. He has now made, you can obviously tell why we would want to pay very close attention to his 2014 predictions, which he has now made. Let's take a listen to what they are. Let's watch from the 700 Club, Lewis.
But number one, I think that the world is going to be in chaos this year. We're not going to have a unified world. And I think sometime during the year, there's going to be some kind of a credit crisis, and I think China is going to lead the way. I think would be very sad. You know, that whole economy is like a house of cards, and when it starts falling, it can affect the entire world because the Chinese purchases of raw material and goods, you know, you look at all the markets, whether it's gold, whether it's silver, whether it's copper, whether it's aluminum, whether it's steel, whether it's timber, all those things sucked in by the Chinese economy. So if they start having trouble, it'll be trouble for everybody else. The other thing is, I do believe that the Iranians will have a nuclear device before the end of the year. And Obama is using a tactic of containment. That's not going to work. We used to say we're not going to let them have it. Now they're going to say, well, we're just going to contain it. Well, that's a bad policy.
Okay, so there's going to be a credit crisis led by China. Who believes that if Pat Robertson could talk to God, God would talk to him about the economics of China? I mean, is it even believable that these absurdities are what God would talk to Pat Robertson about?
I don't know. It's all just so unbelievable. I guess if you believe that God is talking to him, then that would be perfectly reasonable. Yeah.
God is apparently a mid-level economist. That's what we've learned from Pat Robertson with his 2014 predictions. Also, he says, you know, that Iran is going to have a nuke by the end of 2014 and that President Obama's strategy won't work. There's one silver lining, which he said later on in the video, the part we didn't play for you, where he said, all of these problems I'm predicting, it's all going to help Republicans who are going to take over control of the Senate, and President Obama is going to just be a lame duck. So this is psychic Sylvia Brown for religious extremists. That's practically speaking what we have here in these Pat Robertson predictions. His network is raking in millions of dollars from donations. And really, it says a lot about the people in this country that give millions of bucks for this nonsense. Has he ever made a prediction that actually came true? And even if he did at this point, wouldn't the ratio just suggest that it's mere chance?
Right. Apparently, the people making donations don't actually check to see if these predictions, come to fruition
Before sending in their checks, yeah.
Yeah, they're just blissfully ignorant, I think.
All right, make sure to check out davidpakman.com/half14, half and the number 14. You can get your first month of membership at half price or an entire year of membership at 33% off. Very cool, Lewis, 2014, that's the year. davidpakman.com/half14. We'll be back after this. More stories and your voicemails, of course.